Welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners held for the purpose of transacting the general business of the Township. Today's date is January 13, 2016. Please stand to join the Board of Commissioners in a moment of silent reflection, honoring the servicemen and women who've placed themselves in harm's way in order to help preserve our safety. Thank you. Please remain standing and join the Board of Commissioners in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this point, I would entertain a motion dispensing with the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting as written and recorded in the official minute book of the Township. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Please record a unanimous vote. I want to acknowledge that our meeting times have changed. We are now meeting at 7:30, which is probably more relevant on the television. Our regular Monday meetings, which are the Monday before the second Wednesday of the month, have been moved from 7:30 to 7, and our Wednesday meetings have been moved from 8 o'clock to 7:30, and that will continue indefinitely. I want to acknowledge that we've had some turnover on the board because we're in a new term. I want to thank our departed commissioners who we thanked last term, but Commissioner Gillies and Commissioner Sampman for their service in the past. And I want to welcome our new commissioners, Commissioner Graham and Commissioner Maxwell, who are on the ends as our junior members, and we're excited to have them on board. We're all here tonight, so we can move on to the important part. And I'd like to call on Chief Michael Pitko to introduce Officer Wiley and District Justice Kate McGill. Come on down. Thank you.
And I'm pleased to introduce Robert Calvin Wiley to the Springfield Township, our newest police officer in Springfield. Calvin is a 2014 graduate of the Montgomery County Community College Municipal Police Academy. He received his associate's degree from Montgomery County Community College in 2015. He's been working part-time at the North Wales Borough Police Department since August of 2014. And this process started way back in August with our written examination. A total of 393 folks turned up for the written exam, and Officer Wiley performed exceptionally in all phases of the examination process. So we're pleased to have him join our department and look forward to a great career. I'd like to call on the Honorable Magisterial District Judge Catherine McGill to perform the oath of office.
I, Robert Calvin Wiley,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and
and allegiance
to the same. I, Robert Calvin Wiley,
I, Robert Calvin Wiley,
do further solemnly swear that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the office of patrol officer with fidelity.
Thank you.
Okay. You guys, you feel free to take a moment to take pictures while you're all there. And Kate, you want to If they want, and you,
If they
I
want.
get I don't want to play the director, but don't feel you're disrupting us, because so if your family might want to get a picture of the whole family together, whatever, take a deep breath. Because we love this stuff too, so you're keeping us safe.
Everybody's here.
Oh, Calvin,
That
is that
explains
you?
the bar.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, come up, Zach.
Would you mind taking one?
Sitting right here. I don't know where to look at.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Welcome aboard, Calvin.
Thank you.
All right, yes, welcome.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, That's right, you were. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you, congratulations, yes.
Want to work a shift tonight? Mutual aid thing?
It is the old guys playing basketball, destroying our lights.
Thank you.
Good night. Getting the crowd out.
Chris.
Some interesting stuff, come on.
If you don't blink, it'll be over. The board is now open to comments or questions from the public. The board draws particular attention to those items listed on the agenda this evening. Please be advised that once the committee reports begin, the board can no longer accept questions from the floor. At the conclusion of the committee reports, public comments will once again be accepted. However, official action on those issues listed on the agenda will have already taken place. Therefore, if you wish to comment on an agenda item, now would be the appropriate time. Do we have any public comment? There being none, I will move on to the committee reports. I will start out as the chairman of the Internal Affairs Committee. First item is the January bill listing, which is item 2 on the agenda. I move that the Board of Commissioners approve the December check reconciliation in the amount of $1,779,739.65 and the January bill listing in the amount of $854,666.47. That is my motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comment on the motion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Please record a unanimous vote. The next item is the announcing of committee chairs and liaison assignments. As part of doing our work here every 2 years, we allocate all the committees to the board so that there's a board member on every committee, and I will be announcing those assignments tonight. Myself, I will be the chairman of the Internal Affairs Committee and the liaison to the Library Advisory Committee and the Municipal Campus Advisory Committee. Commissioner Sham will be chairman of the Public Works and Facilities Committee and co-chairman of the Public Safety Committee and the liaison with the Springfield Township Emergency Management Committee. Commissioner Standish is chairman of the Community Development Committee and the liaison to the Township Planning Commission. Commissioner Daly is the chairman of the Zoning Committee and the liaison to the Zoning Hearing Board and the Technology Committee, which was formerly known as the Website Enhancement Committee. Commissioner Wilson, chairman of the Cultural Resources Committee and the liaison to the Environmental Advisory Commission. Commissioner Graham, chairman of the Human Resources Committee and the liaison to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. And Commissioner Maxwell is the co-chairman of the Public Safety Committee and the liaison to the Shade Tree Commission. And he will also be a liaison to the Emergency Management. And the reason we have that wealth of riches is both Commissioner Maxwell and Commissioner Sham are firefighters, so we have 2 of them we can send to the Emergency Management Committee, and that's great that we have that skill set. The next item on the agenda is the municipal audit. I move that the Board of Commissioners engage B. Burvall and Company to perform the 2015 audit of the Springfield Township financial statements and the township pension funds consistent with their 2015 engagement letter for a fee not to exceed $21,500. B. Burvall also provided a price not to exceed $5,000 to perform a single audit in the event the township received $500,000 or more in federal funds in 2015. The township did not receive that amount in 2015, therefore a single audit is not required. That is my motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments on the motion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Please record a unanimous vote. The next item is item 5, which is meeting locations for 2016 and 2017. During the Springfield Township Municipal Campus Renovation Project, wherein the Township Building, Police Station, Library, and Public Works Facility will all be renovated, all agency meetings of the Township will need to be relocated. The meetings of the Board of Commissioners, Planning Commission, and Zoning Hearing Board will be held at the Springfield Township Middle School Library at 1901 East Paper Mill Road, Orland. The entrance to the library will be through the main rear entrance with parking adjacent to the large tennis court complex. All other agency meetings will be held in the meeting room of the temporary library, which is located at 1200 East Willow Grove Avenue, Winmore, formerly the Seven Dolors Church. All agency meetings will be held on the regular meeting night and time. Only the meeting locations have been modified. And the thought behind that is to try and make it as little confusing as possible. The zoning, planning, and the commissioners are the ones that tend to draw more people. They're bigger boards, so those will all be in the middle school library. And everything else, which is smaller, will be in our temporary library at $7. So that is the logic behind that. And then that concludes my report. So I will now call on the chairman of the Public Works and Facilities Committee, Commissioner Shum.
Thank you, Mr. President. Resolution 1368, I move that the Board of Commissioners adopt Resolution 1368, a resolution authorizing an intermunicipal agreement with other Montgomery County communities, the City of Philadelphia, and wastewater treatment plant operators to advance the development of an alternative total maximum daily load for the Wissahickon Creek watershed. The participating municipalities and wastewater treatment operators recognize that the watershed of the Wissahickon Creek crosses municipal boundaries, and coordinating the planning effort will benefit all the participating municipalities and provide the most effective plan to improve the health of the Wissahickon Creek. That's my motion.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments on the motion?
Yes, I had some questions about this from some residents, exactly what this is. Do you want to explain it, Jeff, or do you want me? As to why we're entering into this cooperative development agreement?
Well, I'll take a stab at it, and then Don can correct me. There are regulations that have come down from federal regulations through the state that we feel are perhaps going to be very difficult to implement, and the time frame is very short. So the EPA is willing to work with us, but they need to work with people with one voice, or I guess it's DEP. I don't know who we're doing. Is it DEP?
DEP is
State?
going to, it's going to manage for your
So
CPA.
this puts us together so we can work and try and come up with something that works for everybody, that's manageable for us, rather than have them deal with every single municipality.
And how many municipalities are looking to become part of the cooperative agreement?
I believe there are 14 communities, including the city of Philadelphia, plus 4 wastewater treatment plants that direct their wastewater, their treated water into the Wissahickon Creek.
And that's one of the questions, that these are EPA regulations that are being administered through the DEP.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Please record a unanimous vote.
That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Commissioner Shum. I'd like to call on the chairman of the Community Development Committee, Commissioner Standish.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report this evening.
Thank you, Commissioner Standish. I'd like to call on the chairman of the Zoning Committee, Commissioner Daly.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to announce that the zoning hearing board will not meet during the month of January, as the board has not received any applications The next scheduled meeting of the zoning hearing board is February 22nd, 2016, at 7 p.m. here in the Township building. That is my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Commissioner Daly. We move on to the Chairman of the Cultural Resources Committee, Commissioner Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. President. My report this evening, I'd like to announce that for the month of December 2015, Springfield Township residents recycled 297.7 tons of material with a householder participation rate of 81.9%. The net cost for the month was $4,655.46. For the year 2015, the percentage of weekly households participating in the recycling program was 80.1%. 2,538 tons of household material were recycled, which was 99% of the 2015 total. I'd also like to, I think we've already had an e-blast on this, but the Recycle Bank program has now been officially terminated, correct?
Yes.
So I assume people would have been given instructions as to what to do with their credits in the e-blast down that, was that?
Yes, and basically for the purposes of tonight, the points are still valid.
Yeah.
And they can still go on the website and.
I think folks are getting letters from Recycle Bank that they may not be valid. So maybe we can clarify that with Recycle Bank.
Well, we were told that they were still valid until Recycle Bank is no longer in existence.
Okay.
We can double check that.
So we'll check that out, okay. That is my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilson. I call on we've run out of agenda, but I have two more commissioners to call on. I call on the Chairman of the Human Resources Committee, Commissioner Graham.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have no report to have to present this evening.
Thank you, Commissioner Graham. And finally, I call on the Chairman of the Public Safety Committee, Commissioner Maxwell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report this evening.
Thank you very much. Now we move on to the second period of public comment. Do we have any public comment at this point? There being none, I'd be willing to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.